Alright guys, so I'm gonna redo the video. I did one yesterday. I'm not gonna post it. I'm gonna actually redo it because I wanted to actually demonstrate or actually draw out what we were taught in the academy on the 90 and then what my DMV in Fargo had me do. So basically the academy ended on the 17th, and then I got to go home for a week and 2 days, I believe it was. So because my DMV appointment wasn't scheduled till yesterday, which was the 28th of May. So I passed the pre-trip flying colors. I actually got stopped during the pre-trip. So I looked at him like, what happened? Why am I getting stopped? And he said, you've got enough points that you passed already. You don't even have to go to the back part of, the back part of the semi. So, because North Dakota runs on a point system, so everything I was saying and calling out, he was checking it off on his tablet thing, and his tablet automatically said she completed this section, and it kicked me into have her go on to the backing maneuvers. So the backing maneuvers, straight back was a little different, but it was actually easier at the DMV than the range. At the range, they have cones both all the way up and then all the way back. So they have like the 3 cones. I'll draw it out. It'll be like this at the range. You'll start out back here. Your semi bumper will be back here, not behind it, because these are cones. You'll pull all the way up. You'll stop right here. Do not let your bumper hit it. Then you'll just back straight up. Okay. At the DMV, so we'll go ahead and cross that out now. At the DMV, all they had was cones in the center. Oh, that one's not there. So you started up in the center. And basically, we didn't even have to pull up because he'll stop you right here. Well, actually, I think it's further up. This is actually further up. It's just like up here. So it's like... So this is what will stop you. Then from here, make sure your bumper is behind there, make sure it doesn't hit. Then you'll just straight back without hitting any cones. But you have to continue to straight back until your bumper is behind here. Which is easier because you can see the cones. Once you pass the cone, you'll see it. Then you honk the horn. So the DMV was super easier than the academy, but that's what they trained us at the academy. Said the academy is gonna be much stricter, so that when you go take your DMV test, it'll be easy to be able to pass it. So straight back was easy. I got the right side offset, which I like. I like doing the passenger side offset. I find it easier. The driver's side is a little bit harder for me, but I got that. So then we went to the 90. Now the 90, all they have is this regular stuff, the box or whatever. And then, so it's usually like this box. And this is the little rectangle part. It sounds I made it a little too big, but that's alright. Okay. There's truck, car, SUV, and over here, Mac, truck, garage. Alright, so we had an SUV parked here, a car parked here, a truck parked here, and then along this side there was cars and vehicles. Over here is a Mac trucking garage, like shop. So big Mack trucks were coming out and coming in while we're trying to do this. Tractors, like farm tractors, were coming, like walking and moving. They would get out their track. We had passengers walking and moving back here while we were backing up and stuff, so I had to keep stopping. We had tractors coming along the side here, going around while we're trying to back instead of waiting. And then DMV instructor didn't really say anything, but I guess in the real world, you're not going to have somebody out there to tell you to stop or whatever. So that that didn't bother me too much. So also, North Dakota, you don't have the time limit like Minnesota, where you have you have to get it in within 5 minutes, and you don't have that 30-foot front boundary where you can't go out of. But so you start up here, and you crank your trailer, right? You should know how to do a 90. You'll get trained on it. But I'm gonna draw it how it should look when you how you should do a 90 from what I was taught at the academy. So I was taught that your trailer should be cocked. Okay? I kind of just F that up. That looks like the cab now. It's gonna be sloppy, guys. So anyways, okay. And you got your little walker board, your little steps, wheels, wheels. Wheels, and then this would be your bumper. This is how we were taught at the academy. It's sloppy. Your tractor should be cocked. This is your trailer. Go straight down. And this is your bumper. At DMV you have 3 feet, which is about this wide. At the academy we had, I think he said it was like only 8 inches. So at the academy, it was literally cone. Academy was this one. That little bit of space. So you didn't have much room between the cones and we didn't have that big of a box. So that's why they teach it harder at the academy, because when you get to DMV, it should be easy for you to put it in there. But DMV, also at the academy, you're supposed to have a cock like this, use 90. They said it doesn't matter if one side of this or the other side has more or less space, as long as you don't go out of bounds, hit the cone, or knock over a cone. So what I did is I made sure that when I was backing up, I was closer to the driver's side cones. So that way I knew for a fact on my blind side over there, I had all this space and I wasn't gonna hit the cone. Any cones. So I got it in there. But the DMV instructor at Fargo DMV said that they want the tractor straight with the trailer, okay? The tractor straight with the trailer. So again, we had trucks, SUV, cars, truck. This is the Mack garage over here. Mack, truck, garage. Then we had our cones. Get that out the way. This is the box where you need to get your bumper in. Okay. So, semi or trailer. This is your bumper. This is what he wanted. He wanted it straight. And he wanted to have close to equal amount of space from the cone, from the trailer and the cones on both sides. And he wanted it, the tractor straight with the trailer. Like I said, we were taught to have it cocked like this. And because he wanted it straight, I had to use so many pull-ups. And before I did any more pull-ups, I got out and asked the instructor, I said, how many more times or how many more points do I have before I fail? Because I feel like I'm going to fail pretty soon, because I feel like I'm doing a lot of pull-ups, because you want the truck straight with the tractor. Or you want the trailer straight, the tractor straight with the trailer. So he said, I can't give you the amount, but you have plenty because you aced your pre-trip, didn't get no dings on that, and you aced your air brakes. There was no dings on that. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, cool, I have plenty. I'm going to pull up and get it straight so I won't fail. Because at that point, my mindset changed, and I was like, crap, if I don't get this straight, I'm going to fail. Now, at the end, and I was talking to him, he's like, no, you could have, you wouldn't have failed if, you know, you would have got it in there and wouldn't have did so many pull-ups and this and that. So I was frustrated by that, because I literally got out the truck and asked him about the point thing. He said, I got plenty, something I got plenty. So now I know next time when I go down that I'll just take a couple dings for not having it perfectly straight, or, you know, not having it perfectly straight. Because every time I was backing up, I kept on getting it close to the driver's side, and I couldn't figure out how to get the trailer close to the other side. One, that the area up there was way too narrow too, but I still made it in there. He said I only failed by 2 points. He said I had it, but he said if I wouldn't have did that last pull up and I just, you know, honked or whatever, I would have passed. But because I did the last pull up and then something else he said, I went over. I failed. His terms was, you technically failed. So when someone says technically and they say it like 3 times, he's like, well, you technically failed, but I was waiting for the butt to come in, but you did such a good job on this and this and this. You know, so that's why I asked him, I was like, technically, what do you mean by technically failed? So what, you technically want me to get in and restart the whole backing maneuvers over? You want me to get in and pull up and start completely over, redo it? Technically, I'm not going on the road, or what's going on? He's like, no, you failed. And that's when he told me he failed. So I was kind of like, well, why would you say technically? And then hyphenate it. So, yeah. My instructor came out, because I had to go find him and hand him the keys. And he's like, that's not a good sign. I was like, yep, I know. I said, I failed the 90. He's like, how'd you fail? And then he looked to see where the truck was at, because we stopped the truck right there. So he's like, wait a minute, where was he having you back up at? I said, right there. He said, yeah, but where did you start out at? I said, well, I started out between 2 yellow lines right there. Because I thought we had to stay in the yellow lines. And he's like, then I told him, I was like, I remember after backing up 3 times, because that's where I got most of my points docked, because it was way too close to those cars. I was like, there's no way we'd make this 90-degree turn starting off right here. And then I remember the DMV instructor said you can use whatever space, but so after I got out of that yellow area, I went and lined my truck up and had it and got it in there, kept getting it in there, but he wanted it even space on both sides, and he wanted it, the tractor straight with the trailer. So I had to flip the tractor around and get it completely straight. Like I said, at the academy, they teach you like this. They want it, look at that. It's for your tractor, and your trailer is supposed to be in the dock like that. This is how he wanted it. Now, I know you guys are thinking, okay, cool, that was just a straight back. But you guys got to realize, once you get up here, you don't have much room to cock the trailer or the tractor back, because you had all these cars and trucks right here. And then on this side, we had that garage right there. And then if you were to try to do that and back up, you would go out of bounds of the cone. And once you go out of bounds, that's automatic. He's going to stop you and have you restart. And I think that counts for more points. So it was kind of difficult to get it in there straight like that. And even my instructor, when he came out, he was looking at the truck. And He's like, well, that's not enough space for you to even do that. And I said, yeah. And I asked him, I was like, you see how the truck is right now? I said, I said, you guys didn't teach me to do it like this. I said, I was taught that your tractor has to be cocked and your trailer has to go in there. Now, mind you, my academy specifically called this DMV on week 1 and asked what the requirements were because it was a different state. Each state is different. They said the DMV people told my academy people they do everything the same as Minneapolis or Minnesota. The same way. The only difference is there's no time limit. She doesn't have to get it in there within 5 minutes. Minnesota, you have to get it in within 5 minutes, and there's no 35-foot boundary up top where you can't go out of bounds up top. So I was training with the stuff on because I was in Minnesota State, so they were training me to stay from going out of bounds and get it in within 5 minutes and all that. So they did not tell my instructors, and my instructors they also called that last week. So they called the very first week I was there, and they called the last week. They said the same thing on the last week. She doesn't have a time limit, and there's no 35-foot boundary. Everything else is the same as Minnesota. But obviously it wasn't. I got down there, and they wanted it straight in there. They want the trailer and tractor straight, and they want equal amount of space on both sides. My instructor was PO'd. I was highly PO'd and very disappointed because I had a lot riding on it. Still have a lot riding on it, but now I have to suck it up and just wait for my rescheduled appointment. On the upside, I don't have to do pre-trip again. I got Section C, which Section C is just the coping stuff and the trailer. I kind of was hoping I got the Section A, the engine part. But, like I said, I started at the beginning of the trailer. I said the bulk bolt header boards, and I said all the coping stuff. I did the tires. I did all the wires underneath there. Did the bud spacing. Basically, I went from the very first beginning of the trailer and the first set of wheels, and then once I was getting ready to go on, I pointed at the landing gear and said I double check that once we go to the other side because the other side has the arm and make sure it's in the lock. I was going to look over there to make sure it's in the lock position. But once I stated the landing gear's right there and it's fully raised up, and let them know once we get to the other side, I'm going to check it to make sure the arm is secure over there and to make sure both feet are present on that side along with this side. Then he stopped me. He said, "You're good. We're good to go to the back of maneuvers." So I didn't even get to go to the back of the trailer, or basically, yeah, because I stopped at the middle part pretty much. What else? Yeah, that was heartbreaking. Like, guys, I literally cried all the way home because, like I said, I have a lot riding on this. I've been without a job, so money's been tight. I barely had money to get down there. And then it kind of frustrated me because I feel like my instructor from the academy should have went in there or should have called them and said, this is not what we trained her how to do. They've been in the trucking game a long time. They could have easily said, that's not a 90 degree. You had her do a straight back in that narrow area. She got it in there. They didn't do that. I called my dad. My dad's been truck driving for over 30 plus years, and I told him what happened because he didn't understand how I felt because I was acing everything. And I told him what happened. He said, that's not a 90. He said, they had you straight back. When you do a 90, your tractor is not supposed to be straight with the trailer. He said, that's bullcrap. He said, your instructor needs to go in there and talk to them, explain. Because they could also explain, like, hey, I was the one that talked to you over the phone, or I talked to this person, and then on the third week, I talked to this person, and, say their employer's name, whoever was working the DMV who told them, it's the same thing. Because I feel like if that would have happened, I feel like they would have been like, okay, well, we'll just take off 2 points then, and then she passed. Or I feel like they would have said, okay, she's going to have to go out there right now and do it again, but we're going to start from the beginning. I feel like something would happen instead of me having to get in my car, crying, trying to figure out how we're going to make ends meet now. And then try to figure out how to get money to get back down there, because I'm in North Dakota. The closest they're going is Fargo. That's a 4.5 hour drive from where I live. So I got to put gas in both ways, going in and, actually I think it's 3 times I got to put gas in. I got to put gas in before I leave. Then when I get halfway, or when I arrive there, I got to put another set of gas in. And then before I hit the road, I got to put gas in. So 3 times. So, yeah, it was a lot of disappointment and stress. But they're not going to have me do it in Fargo, I guess. They're going to try to get me, they're willing to go a little further out. So I think we're going to go to Grand Forks. And we're going to do it there. And I'm going to, before I even do my 90, I'm going to ask them, I'm like, because this is not how I was taught to do a 90. If they're going to try to do the same thing. But I feel like I got cheated out of it. Both my instructor that was down there that drove the company truck down for me to practice in, he was upset too. My other instructor, the head instructor guy at the Swift Academy, I called him and told him what happened. He said, he was upset. He said he would have went in there and, raised hell or whatever. I was like, just thinking like, okay, well, call him back and get him on the phone and do that. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, y'all knew I had a lot riding on this, too. So, but at the end of the day, it's nobody's fault but mine. Oh, also, you only get 2 get-out looks. That's my mess up right there, too, because I'm thinking, like, the other ones, you can get 2 get-out looks, but 2 get-out looks for freeze. Then the rest, they're going to knock you for points, ding you for points. So when I did a 90, I was like, cool, I'll get my first 2 free get-out looks, did those. And then I got out to do my last get out and look when I was in there. And he's like, you can't get out and look. I was like, I only use 2. He's like, that's all you get. I said, yeah, we get 2 free ones and then, everything else is going to come. And he's like, no, only on the 90, you only get 2. You don't get, after you use your 2, that's it. You don't have no. So that kind of messed me up too. So when I finally got it in there straight on both sides and had whipped the tractor around to make sure that's straight with the trailer, had enough, there was an even amount of space from the cones to the trailer on both sides, and I had it in there. I needed to get out and look to see how much further back I needed it to go. And he stopped me and said I couldn't get out. I couldn't get out and look no more. So that's where that messed me up. So I had to kind of try to look at the shadow and eyeball it. And it looked like my stuff was going to be outside of the cone, so I stopped right before it. And then I honked the horn. I had no more get out and looks. So I honked the horn, and I guess that's the other part he said where I felt at. He said because he said you had so many pull-ups on this last one. He said you were fine. He said once you honked the horn, but you didn't get it in the box. You barely missed the box. So that's where I missed it by 2 points came in at, and I failed. So yeah, so North Dakota does this a little different. But on the plus side, now I know what to expect, and now I don't have to do the pre-trip. So, yeah. We'll see. The other thing I thought that was weird was he wanted me to do the air brake stuff, which I did it. Push the button in, push the red button, or push the yellow button in to check the tractor brake, or check the trailer brakes. Push the yellow button in to check the whatever. So anyways, as I was going in, I said, all right, I'm going to push my yellow button in, and we're going to check my trailer brakes. And he stopped me right there. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, we're doing the air brake test. And I was like, this is the air brake test. He's like, this is how you were trained? I said, yes. So we're supposed to do this, then this, then push them both in. And then we're supposed to go forward and check the service brakes after that. And then we go into the air losses part. He's like, no, those are tug tests. And I'm sitting there just thinking like, no, this is air brakes because that's part of the air brakes. He's like, no, we're not doing that. I need you to just go ahead and go to the air brake part, the air lossage. Because I was confused and he kept on saying the air brake part. So I was like, I'm not understanding what you mean then. What part do you want me to start at then? And then he said something, and I was like, I still don't understand what you mean. Are you talking about fanning the brakes and then listening for the 4 PSIs? He's like, yeah. I was like, okay. So I did that. So okay, I'll start there, which threw me off because I wasn't trained to start there. So I did that, passed all that, explained all that. And it also threw me off because once we do the service, we do the tractor brake, the trailer brake, and then we do the service brake. At that point, we cut the truck off, and that's when we hold the brake for 1 minute, and we should not lose more than 4 psi within 1 minute in a combination vehicle. it threw me off because the buttons would already be pushed in. So if we would have did it in that order, those buttons would have already been pushed in. So me starting there, I forgot to push buttons in. I noticed it while I was doing it because I was like, all right, I held the brake down and then we didn't lose no more than 1 psi per minute. And then I was getting ready to start the fan, and then I was like, oh, well, these are supposed to be pushed in. So once I finished all that, he had me do it again. So he just wanted to make sure I knew what I was doing. So I was like, okay. So I started over and I did it the right way, but it threw me off. And so I completed that, and he said, okay, we're good with that. And then the light part was nice. We were trained at the academy that we'll have to walk around the truck minimum of 3 times. You gotta walk around for your 4-way flashers, walk around for your turn signals on both sides, so approximately 3 times. But the instructor told me, he's like, okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna sit in the truck. I'm gonna stand in front of the truck. I'm gonna point to something. I want you to turn it on, turn it off. So I turn it on, turn it off. Right turn signal, good, turn it off. Left turn signal, 4-way flashers, high beam, low beams, clearance lights. So I did all that. He walked to the sides, walked around the trailer, or he walked down the side and went to the back of the trailer. Right turn signal, left turn signal, hit the brake, foot off the brake. But he didn't check my tractor brakes. But I knew they worked because before the instructor got out there, I went ahead and did my pre-trip, practiced that, made sure I had everything down because I didn't know what section I was going to get. And so I did all that and made sure everything was working. Yeah, that was a nice part though, just sitting in the truck and having to flip the stuff on, which one he wants to see and stuff, go through all of them. So, I think that's it for the most part. Yeah, it's just, I gotta go back and do it. So, I know I'm gonna pass this time now that I know what to expect. So, I'm just disappointed in myself because I knew I should have had it. And I knew I had people depending on me and stuff. So, that still eats me right now. So, but that, and I'm not working right now, so I like to work. So, it's kind of eating me too at that too. But that's it. Oh, my instructor did tell me on my way down there, he sent me a text, and he said, when you pass today, you're going to have a lot of documents to sign on Portal, which is the website. So when you get on there, when you pass, I'm guessing that's when your tuition stuff's going to kick in, and they're going to have you sign up, give them your bank account stuff, so they can, because if you're going to work for Swift, they're going to take it out your paycheck. So once you get signed on and get all that going, they'll just take it out of your paycheck. Because Swift, you get paid every week in training. If you're not going to work for Swift, I'm sure they're going to do the same thing, set it up. But though I think you get the option of having it taken out every month, at the end of every month, or whatever, once a month, I think. Don't quote me on that because I'm not 100% sure. Also, when you're waiting for your mentor, you get $500 flat at a 40 hour rate, or $500 flat for 40 hours. So if you're with your mentor or you're waiting for a mentor, you get that $500 regardless. The catch is though, after that 40 hours, you get $8 an hour while you're out on the road with your mentor, because they want you working 60 to 70 hours a week. So after 40, you get $8 an hour after 40. But it's not time and a half. It's just 8 hours flat. So I kind of told the owner that when he was telling us that, I was like, I was professional about it and was nice about it. I was like, that's still a little low. You get $500 flat for 40 hours, and then we're going to be working 60 to 70 hours with a mentor, and we're only going to be getting $8 an hour. So that was kind of low, and I still got to think about that. I got to figure out, look over my finance stuff, because if I do go over the road, then my partner would have to end up quitting his job and become a stay-at-home dad. So that's something me and him got to figure out. Because that is kind of low. I mean, unless I can see if Swift is going to up their flat rate, or if they're going to up, do time and a half. Because you can work at a railroad company and they'll start you out at $176 to $200 a day. So it's like, why are they starting this trucking company out, these drivers out, and they're going to be over the road, which is more dangerous, at such a low rate? Because if you calculate that, then that means they're only paying you like 12 something an hour. If you calculate the whole 500 plus something else. So it's a lot to think about. It's a great opportunity, but that kind of has a lot weighing on my shoulders because I thought it was going to be more than that. So, I mean, you'll make more once you're on your own, but you're going to be away from home and away from your family, and you got bills. I wouldn't be able to go over the road with that right at this moment with just $500 flat, and then 8 hours, whatever you get. You're not even going to get overtime pay. 8 hours, so you do 40 hours and then do the extra 30 hours, 40, 50, 60, 70. So for 30 hours, you're only going to get paid $8.